Okay, I'm going to work some problems from the 2-3 homework in calculus. These are mainly product rules and quotient rules. This is a quotient. You think of it as u over v. And its derivative will be vu prime minus uv prime, all divided by v squared. I usually remember it as a chant. The bottom times the derivative of the top. If you don't know how I got that, I'll show you in a minute. Minus the top times the derivative of the bottom, all over the bottom squared. All I did for that one derivative was I looked at the square root of x. I thought of it as x to the 1/2. Then I took the derivative by doing power base 1 less power, and that's how I got the derivative for this. So it's a little tricky, but that's how we do it. Now this becomes x squared plus 1 over 2 radical x minus 2x radical x, all divided by x squared plus 1 quantity squared. I'll never accept a fraction in a fraction, so the opposite of dividing by 2 radical x would be to multiply by 2 radical x. I'm going to do it on numerator and denominator. When I multiply here, they cancel, leaving me just the x squared plus 1. Whenever you subtract, use parentheses, even though you don't necessarily need it on this one. On the bottom, you'll have this. So when I multiply it over here, 2 times 2 is 4. And what is this times this? Hopefully you know it's x squared, because the square root of x times square root of x is x. So I believe that becomes your final answer of 1 minus 3x squared, because you have 1x squared minus 4x squared, over 2x times quantity x squared plus 1 quantity squared. And that is now the derivative. Okay, after 9, I think I was asked number 11. I'm assuming 11 is another quotient, but it does not have a radical, so it shouldn't be that bad. Sine of x over e to the x. You do the bottom times the derivative of the top. Derivative of sine is cosine. Minus the top times the derivative of the bottom. Well, the derivative of e to the x is e to the x. And it's all over the bottom squared. So I'm going to factor out an e to the x on top, leaving me cosine minus sine. E to the x quantity squared means e to the x times e to the x. If you cancel, you'll get your answer to be the simplified derivative of cosine of x minus sine of x, all divided by e to the x. Okay, first we have a quotient in 31, so I think I'm going to use a quotient rule. Here's how you do the quotient rule. The bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom, all over the bottom squared. So this becomes 3 radical x minus 3x minus 1 over 2 radical x, all divided by x. I won't take a fraction in a fraction, so I'm going to get rid of it by multiplying by what it was divided, 2 radical x. 2 radical x times 3 radical x is 6x. 2 times 3 is 6. The radical times itself is a radicand. When you multiply here, these cancel, leaving you 3x minus 1. So when you clean up your numerator, you get 3x plus 1, I believe. 6x minus 3x is 3x, and that's a plus 1. On bottom, you have 2x to the 1 1/2, or 2x radical x. That's a quotient rule. I just want to point out, guys, what if I had them both? They're both divided by what? Radical x. So if I subtract exponents and I rewrite this, this is still what my y is. If I wanted to take the derivative, I could do power base 1 less power. Power base 1 less power would be -3/2. And apparently the class is over.